Hi everyone, Keith here, your technician over here at ColDesi. This is another one of our little webinars in our series that we've been doing to help customers out with doing some basic maintenance and setup of their machines. This webinar is going to be covering the leveling of Platens for the Viper2. So that way we have each one of these sections that will be the exact same height. All right. So we can't do this just by a measurement. It has to be done on the machine. So that way, if there's any kind of tilt or any kind of variations of the machine, just from manufacturing or something like that, that we have it level accordingly to the head as it swipes across the platens. There is some tools that you'll need. We're going to use the 3/4 technique, all right? You could use any 3 coins you wanted, but we're just using this as a gauge to be a distance from the actual head carriage. All right, the next thing we'll use is either a 10mm crescent wrench or a socket that will be able to fit up underneath there so you can loop it up underneath to get to those little bolts. There's 4 bolts on the bottom of each one of these 4-up platens here, and those are what we're going to be adjusting to either lower or higher the actual corners of the platens. And also the most important tool of every DTG user, cup of coffee. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get this set up so that way we can adjust this and still be able to use our up and down button without it, without having to, with the head released and not locked into position. In its ready state, the head gets locked in position there, so I'm not able to move it. So what I'm going to be doing is to unlock this head, I'm going to start a head cleaning and use my emergency stop button. So to start a head cleaning, I hold the menu button in about 3 or 4 seconds. Print head will come off of the capping station. I'll hit the emergency stop. So that way I can move it left or right. All right. So now when I power back up with the emergency stop, the control panel, it will not power up unless I hit the power button. So what I'll do, turn it back on. So that way I can use this up and down button. All right, I make sure to put my platen in correctly. So that way a little Teflon strip down here on the bottom is over here where the media switch is. So that's the way it's going to be loaded every single time. What I'll do is pull this in, make sure the head's out of the way. And I'm going to use the up and down button to make sure that I'm going to set the distance to my head here. All right, so let me bring this over. Sorry about the shaky video. Bring this up here. All right. So what I do is I'm going to move the head out of the way. I'm going to place these 3/4 right here on this first corner. Alright, then I'm going to bring the head back over, but I'm going to look from the front before I drag the head across those quarters to make sure that the quarters aren't too hot. So let's see, let's pull this around here. I'll take the camera off, so that way y'all can see it a little bit better. Let's see if I can get in there. Alright. Here you see the quarters right back in here. Alright, so I'm going to use this down button. Looks like I got some debris hanging from my print head there. Let's see. Pull that little ink glabber off of here. Sure nothing's dangling down. All right. Push that print head back in. And then I'm basically bending down so that way I can push the head over. I can tell that it's too close, so I'm going to use the down button to be able to bring that first leading edge of the print head, this edge right here of the print head, directly above those quarters. Then I'll use the up button to bring it close, but not touching. All right, I want just like a little bitty sliver of light in between it. Okay, and then my final step, once I have that thing set in, I'm going to come back and I'm going to hold the up and down button simultaneously so that way the up button doesn't work. That turns your gap off, so that way if my hands get inside the casing and stuff, that it doesn't start to automatically lower. Let's see if we can see that a little bit better. Okay. Now that I have that one locked into place, I'll go ahead and get my tool out. I can look at it from the back of the machine. And I make sure to get that exact distance so that way I can match all four corners to that same distance. All right, so I pull the head out of the way. I'll move my corners over to the next spot and check it. Pull the head over to it. Make sure that it's the exact same. Looks like this back corner is the exact same as the first one. Let's see if I can pull this around back here. Sorry, guys. Set this up on something so y'all can see it better. Go a little bit higher than that. So this way you can see the angle that I'm looking at. All right, so you got to be careful with pushing the head around because it does flex up and down when you're pushing it. So let's check that first corner again. So it looks like it's really close there. So I'm going to pull up on the head so I can get across it, so I can check it with the plastic. So let's take a look here. Make sure these quarters are stacked properly. There we go. I just have a sliver of light in there, just above it. All right. So then I'm going to match the other corner with it. Also check the other two. that same sliver of light, which that is. Check my other corner. It looks like it might need to go up just a hair, so I use my little wrench here. I needed a small adjustment on this one. I don't want to get it too close, but I want it to be the same as the other ones. Oops, sorry guys. Okay. Like I said, if you push down on the head, it will flex. See? So it has some movement there, so you just got to be careful with pushing it down too hard. All right. Check the last corner here. It's got that same sliver of light in there. Maybe have to adjust this one just a little bit higher. Little micro adjustment on that one. Okay, so now I've got to do the middle ones. Let's push the head out of the way. Push this in, so that way the next set of corners are right in that same line of the print head. Quarters right up here. So it looks like it needs to go up a little bit. Now this one's a little bit tricky to get to because it's right here in the middle. So what I have to do is make sure to bring the platen out. Make a small adjustment. Then I'll check it. Got my socket step. Alright. Push it back in. Then I'll check it again. It might be a little bit too close. So I'll adjust that down just a hair. Sorry guys. There we go. So micro adjustment. Back in. Alright. Same little sliver of light. I'll make it go just a pinch higher. Verify it one more time, and then I'll move on to the next one. Just a little bit too close. All right, now we'll check the next corner. See if it's right.
And it looks like it's way too loud.
All right, so we're going to raise that up a little bit. I'll check it. Always move the head out of the way before I push my quarters in. Still needs a little bit more. It's a lot of just trial and error here. Push it back in and check it again.
Same little sliver, right? Boom, got it.
Check my next one.
All right, definitely needs to go up
A little bit more. Definitely a pain to get to, I know. Put on the screw here. Do micro adjustments. Push it back in here.
Still needs to go a turn or two. Perfect. A nice sliver of light there.
Check this outside corner.
Definitely needs to go up a little bit more.
Push it back in to check it again.
Nice little sliver of light there. Try to get as close as humanly possible without going too far.
Might need to go just one more turn. Verify it one more time.
It's always good to double check. And perfect.
All right, now we'll start on the next four corners. Oops, gotta get my quarters first. I'll start over here on this corner. Doesn't really matter which one because you're matching it to that first corner that we did originally.
So this one is just about perfect. You see that nice little sliver of light in there?
Might be a little bit too high. I'm just going to lower it down like a little quarter turn. corner.
This one's just about perfect.
I'm not even going to adjust that one. Come over here to this corner. Check it.
Got that same sliver of light.
Looks like that one's adjusted. Last but not least. Right, that one might be just a hair too high. Still just a little bit high. Am I going higher or lower here? Let's see which direction I go. Still a little bit. Yeah, the actual nut size on the bottom of these Platens is 3/8 of an inch. Or if you're using metric, then it's 10 millimeters. But 3/8 is the best. All right, so now I got that perfect sliver. Now I'm going to go on to do the front. So I'm going to bring the camera onto the front side now, because I have to push the Platen back. You can see it from this angle. Push this in. Let's test the front corners. So it looks like I can actually reach in here and do it while it's in the machine now, because I can get to the bolt. Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Maybe I was going the right way. Or not. Oh, no, there it is. All right. See that same sliver? Okay. Kind of hard to do this when the camera's in the way. Just lowering it. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit. Same little sliver of light. Come over here to my next corner. Thankfully, I'm almost done. It's a little tedious, but it just has to be done to get those really good quality prints. Lower this one down.
above it. Same little sliver of light.
Perfect. The next corner. Close. Make sure that these corners stay stacked here.
Same little sliver of light.
Perfect. Last but not least, final corner. Final corner. A bit lower. Here a bit lower. There we go. So now I have all my corners, all 4 of the 4 up, attached, or at the exact same height now. Alright, so let's check this thing. Alright, we'll pull this back a little bit. So what I'll do, I'm going to pull my platen forward here. Make sure the quarters are out of the way. Alright, and now I'm going to power back up. Alright, so what I'm going to do to power back up here, I'm just going to raise this lid up and hit power. Go through its normal startup. It'll come up and tell me the ink cover is open to close the ink cover, but I let it go through and finish its little startup. All right, let me pull the camera back over here on the tripod. Okay. So now that it's gotten back to its rest, print head's not doing anything. Just lower this down. Then what it does is going to pressurize the cartridge bay. So that little motor winding right there is air pressure being pumped into the cartridges. All right. So that's leveling my platen. Makes a huge difference with quality prints, especially when you get into like little tiny small characters, or if you get into like really thin lines that are going in the direction of the machine here. So the print head's sliding this way, and if you have a line that's really thin in this direction, it'll make it look like 2 lines, especially if one corner of your platen's lower than the other. All right, so now we're back to, oh, it's doing a cleaning here. Let's do its little thing. Once this gets all finished and started up, I'll probably do a head cleaning and then do a nozzle check. The gaps on the Viper2s are set at the factory, and they're set to a specific height for the lasers, so there's not really a need to adjust those. If you did have to adjust your gap lasers, you would have to take the machine apart. We will probably, as technicians, probably either be on the phone with you or come to you to adjust it, so that way it's at a perfect height. But they are set from the factory to be at a perfect height. If you're still having like double imagery, even if you've leveled the platens, according to what we just did, then contact us. What you'll do is probably run a head alignment on the machine. So that way it dials in or calibrates it to print at that optimum height. If you have any questions over this webinar, please don't hesitate to get in touch with your support department or just call into the front desk and they can direct you to the correct department to get your answers questioned or questions answered. All right. And don't forget that we do have a lot of resources on our support site. Support site is going to be support.coldesi.com. You can click on that particular machine, which would be your Viper2, or if you have RIP software questions, you can click on the RIP Pro section and choose the level of software that you have, like say downloading the manuals or even just getting the download itself. So I hope this has been informative. I look forward to talking to you